G'day guys, before we hop into today's vlog, I just want to remind you to hit that subscribe button. From now on, I'm going to be putting out Day-Leigh vlogs every single day. I'm going to be tracking my process, playing these 1-2-6 max games, hopefully moving up in stakes. But even if I don't, you'll get to watch me fall on my face every single day on this YouTube channel. So make sure you hit subscribe so you get the new videos as they come out every single day. For now, onto the vlog. G'day everyone, welcome back to the vlog. It's currently about 6:30 AM here in Melbourne and pretty nice view, the sun rising out there at this time. Unfortunately I have slept in again, just a little bit though. Sort of hit the snooze button for about an hour, but now I'm up and at it, ready to poker today. I only got a 5 table, I really can't play my A game at 6 tables, at least not yet, so we're going to stick to 5 for the moment. And first, we're going to get in a feed, and I'm actually really excited for today's feed because today I'm actually allowed to have carbs again. We're switching up the macros of the diet. For the previous 2 weeks, I wasn't allowed to have any carbs at all, except for green vegetables. So we're changing up the diet. The body's probably well into a state of ketosis at the moment, so we're going to shock it back out by giving myself some carbs. So I do expect my energy levels for today to be absolutely through the roof, since my body's finally going to get some carbs back in me, and I can't wait for that. So I'm gonna get my feed in. Let's go. Okay, it's 7:15 AM here in Melbourne at the moment, and I've just wrapped up my feed. I kind of felt like I'd feel like Superman after finally eating some carbs, just ready to tear the place down, bouncing off the walls, but I'm not quite at that level yet. Maybe I was overestimating how much difference adding back in the carbs would make. I will say though that pita bread did taste great. So with my feed in, I'm feeling ready to go play some poker like I typically am. Elizabeth and I are going for a hike later today. Might even take you guys along with us. We're going to have to get a bunch of hands in before then. So my daily hand golf today, I'm probably not going to go for the 1,500. I'm just going to go for 1,200 playing 5 tables. I'm not allowed to play 6 tables today. It does not work out for me. So 5 maximum tables and going for 1,200 hands of A grade level play. We don't have much more time to waste, so let's get into it. G'day everyone, it's currently about 10:30 in the morning here in Melbourne. I've just wrapped up my first poker session for the day. Got in about 3 hours of poker and I was pretty happy with my performance so far during the day. So far got around 800 hands, so I'm going to have to come back and play the 700 in my second session of the day. But for now, Elizabeth and I, we're going to go on a hike. It's going to be nice to go outdoors. The restrictions in Victoria have decreased recently and you are actually recreationally allowed to go out and hike. So we're going to take advantage, get outside, get some fresh air for once, but then afterwards I'll come back and finish out the poker session for the day. But for now, let's go. Welcome back everyone. I'm back in my apartment and it was nice to get out of the house today. Elizabeth and I did go for a bit of a hike up in the Dandenong Ranges. Like I said, it was nice to get outside for once and happy to get some fresh air and some exercise. And fortunately, it didn't impact the volume I was able to put in at the poker tables either, because I did play a total of 4 hours and 54 minutes today for a grand total of 1,414 hands. So unfortunately we didn't get quite to the 1,500, which is usually what I go for. But like I said today, the fact that I was taking a break and having a hike, and the fact that I did do a little bit of a sleep in, I wasn't expecting to get to the 1,500. So the fact that I did get over 1,200, I'm pretty happy with that, and I'll take that amount of volume on a day like today. For results today, I was able to make 428 over the course of both of the sessions. But in terms of my gameplay grade, I'm going to give myself an A today. I do feel like during the course of both of the sessions, I was completely focused.
undistracted, and the fact that I did play 5 tables all throughout both sessions meant I was able to handle everything well, make clear and concise decisions at each decision point throughout all of the hands. Whereas yesterday when I was doing 6, it was too much, it was an overload and I fatigued. I feel like 5 is a really good number, and that's why I was able to play so well today. I really like most of the decisions I made in the hands I played, and the only reason I'm not giving myself an A+ is just because of that little lost value in my goal when I did sleep in a little bit, so I can't go quite to the perfect level when I did have that mistake. Gonna try and wake up as early as I can tomorrow to make up for it, and hopefully I can play as well as I did today then. Today's session, I'm gonna give myself an A. I was pretty happy with most of the decisions I did make in the hands that I did play today. This next hand, however, I do think it is pretty close, and I'm not quite as confident in my decisions made throughout the course of this particular hand, so let's get into it. The following hand is from a 1-2 game, and it gets to a cutoff who goes ahead and open limps, and then the button, who is a loose aggressive player, goes ahead and raises it up to 10. Then the action's on me in the small blind, and I have 6-5 of hearts, and I'll go ahead and say straight away, I think calling is the worst option here when I'm getting such a bad price to call, and I don't like calling in the small blind anyway, just because you'll have to play the hand out of position the entire hand. So I think that's the worst option. Then I think folding is potentially fine here. Obviously, the button is representing a strong range, not only raising over a limper, but also doing so to a 5x size. So obviously folding's fine here, but I actually decide to 3-bet. I go ahead and make it 40 here, and I like this play against a loose aggressive opponent just because I think they're going to be folding a lot. I do think we realise a lot of fold equity by raising here, but additionally, even if we do get called, we have a fairly strong hand with 6-5 suited, so I elect to go ahead and 3-bet it to 40. Then the action gets to the cutoff, they fold, and the button calls. So we are heads up to a flop of Queen 9-7 with the 9 and the 7 of hearts. So obviously a great flop for us. We flop a straight flush draw. When the action's on me here, I definitely want to go ahead and semi-bluff on this board. If my opponent does have a hand like Ace-Jack, Ace-10, I think they're going to be pretty likely to fold, which is good when we have 6 high. We'd love to take the pot down just now with 6 high, but even if we do get called by a hand like a strong queen or a pocket 10, then I'm pretty happy with that too, because we have a lot of outs to improve against those hands. So I go ahead and make it 55. Then my opponent goes ahead and raises to 118. Then the action's back on me, and I think this is a pretty interesting spot here. Obviously, I'm not going to be folding. Let's take that option off the table. But I do consider 3-betting this hand just because I think it's somewhat possible my opponent is raising with a weaker 1-pair hand that's sort of like trying to see where they're at. You know, something like pocket 10s or king queen just wants, you know, to not price me in to keep drawing with an ace-high type hand. I think if we do 3-bet, obviously those hands are going to be folding, and then we take the pot down with 6 high, which would be nice. However, in this spot, I actually do prefer calling, and that's just because I think it is actually possible that my opponent is doing it with a tighter, stronger range, something like pocket 7s, something like pocket 9s, Queen 9 suited, or a nut flush draw hand. And obviously, I'm not really trying to get all in against that range of hands. I'd just rather call, getting such a good price, seeing the turn, see where we go from there. And that's what I decided to do. I was on my A game today, and I make what I think is the best choice and decide to just call this raise. So we do go heads up to a turn, which is the 10 of hearts. Obviously, we love that turn. We get there with our flush draw. Now we do actually have a pretty interesting decision here. There's only about 150 left in the effective stack, so I do heavily consider just lead shoving here for value. If my opponent does have one of those 1-pair hands with a single heart, they're probably going to check back on the turn and just draw to the river for free. So I'd like to shove and just charge them if they do have one of those draws. I decide not to do that. I decide to check though, just because I think if I do that, they're actually probably just going to fold, even if they do have a stronger heart. They're not getting quite the right price to draw, so I think they'd be pretty tempted to just fold that, particularly when me shoving, it literally looks like I just turned a flush, which is actually what I did. I think I would rather check here, potentially induce a bluff from my opponent if they did check raise with a weaker 1-pair hand, or even if they did check raise with like pocket 9s, pocket 7s, they're probably going to shove anyway, just to try and price me in if I do have a ace of hearts type hand. So I go ahead and check it to my opponent, and then they go ahead and rip it all in. Obviously, we're going to snap call with our flush here, and then my opponent shows 7-5 offsuit. So I told you the opponent was loose aggressive. I didn't think they were that loose aggressive, but apparently they are. They were raising the one pair type hand to see where they were at because they had bottom pair on the flop. So absolutely stoked to get it in against that hand because they are drawing dead. The river was a queen of clubs, let's say, and we scoop in the pot. So I'm pretty happy that I didn't decide to 3-bet on the flop. Obviously just calling, kept my opponent in with some crazy hand like bottom pair, and I'm also glad that I didn't lead shove the turn either, because if I did, they're probably just going to fold their pair there. So I'm really happy that I did tune in, focused on what I thought my opponent was doing, made a good read, and got their stack as a result for it. So absolutely in love with this hand. However, I do acknowledge that I might be a little bit biased because I did win a lot of money playing this line. So if you do disagree, let me know. Hop in the comments below. Let me know how you will play this flop. Do you just go ahead and 3-bet the straight flush draw, or do you like just calling? Hop in the comments below. Let me know what you think. That's going to wrap up another vlog for today, everyone. Thank you so much for watching as always. I really do appreciate it. We've got a bunch of new subscribers on recently, and thank you so much for hitting that subscribe button. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Join the family. For now, I'm out of here. Peace.